Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here, and today we are watching the second round of this mini 3-round tournament that I played with my friend here, and we are doing the exact same list, Drukhari against Custodes again. This time, one of the Custodes is no longer a veteran, and they are something else. I can't remember what. I, however, am running exactly the same list, which I believe is uh, two mandrakes and a night fiend that I've set up in reserve, an akathist who's run naked without any pistol or hex rifle or anything like that, and then the rest of it are all just normal regular racks. The one with the bow there is a medic. Okay, now I have the first turn. I'm moving up. We're going to do a very similar thing to the last battle report, where I'm going to mute and cut and speed up everything when I'm no longer narrating what's going on. The first thing to note here, however, is that I rolled pretty terribly compared to the last match for my advance rolls, and so while in the last match I managed to get my guys onto the central objective turn one, this time I am way back. Now that obviously changes things a lot. Also, one of the Custodes is in reserve if I didn't mention that. Also, my opponent this time is playing the objective, which is very interesting. And is that going to change the outcome of this game? Let's find out. Okay, so at the end of the movement phase, I'm setting up my Night Fiend and my two Mandrakes. It looks like I was setting them up back my side. Don't know why I put them there. But nope, I'm setting them up on the central objective because my racks failed to get there. I decided that capturing this objective was the best idea. Now, the Custodes have a tactic for 2 CP that allows them to fire Overwatch at the end of the movement phase when an enemy unit is deployed with them. So, depending on which model you place first, I place 3, however, technically I place 1 first, and this allows you to fire at the first model placed. So, that is a little bit of a tactical thing to consider there. Obviously, it can also be used if somebody outflanks, not just deep strikes. So I take a flesh wound there because luckily I'm within 1 inch of terrain, but that was almost dying on, before he does anything, which is horrendous. Not that he's going to do anything the rest of the game. Spoiler for you. See, I told you, didn't I? So it turns out the guy with the bow isn't a medic. He's the ossifactor, which is a very nice weapon. Uh, but I rolled a 1 to hit. So that's the kind of quality glass half dead rolling I like to put on this channel. CP'd a armor save reroll from a 2 to a 1 there. At the end of turn 1, I'm still ahead as I managed to capture the 2 objectives on my side and the central, giving me 5, whereas he only has 2. But note that he didn't bring his reserve onto the board in this turn, which is pretty interesting. Having to spend a reroll on a charge is always kind of painful for me. I don't like it. Luckily the reroll worked, and I managed to go and contest his objective. However, didn't make it, and so therefore uh, can't re-roll again because I already re-rolled. That was pretty bad charging, and my advanced rolls at the beginning were pretty bad as well. It was bad. Also, though, with Drukhari, don't forget that on turn 2, Power from Pain, you actually are allowed to re-roll your rolls without spending CP. However, I forgot that and had spent CP. So a little note here, I've moved up my guy with the uh, net there. I was going to call him an impaler for some reason. Shardin impaler. It's not. That's just the model I used. It's not actually a special weapon. Intended to block the Custodes from getting to the central objective. That was the plan with him. He now brings his guy in from reserve right onto my backfield. Now, obviously, what he's done here is he's given up a turn of shooting in the first turn, waiting for me to open up my backfield, and then placed his guy right back there where there's little I can do. Another little sadness for me in this game. My OS factor doesn't do anything, by the way. Totally wasted. And then, absolutely outrageously, he shoots at my leader who is on the central objective, and he hits, he wounds with two attacks, but no, with one shot. Sorry, goes to 2 damage, and I failed my save roll. Power from pain. I managed to roll double sixes, so I block both of his damage. Outrageous. That it was absolutely unfair on him, but I needed it. If that dice roll had gone slightly more statistically average, I think he would have actually won the game. Let's find out, shall we? So turn 3 looks like it's going to hot up. I managed to score another 5 at the end of turn 2. My opponent only getting 2. However, he is, dismantling my army. I've lost all of my mandrakes. I've lost racks. It's looking bad. So he went for a charge on me, and I fell back. Possibly a bad decision because obviously it moves me off of the central objective. He didn't roll enough to get in. He spent a CP for the reroll. However, he got a 5, which did take him to within 2 inches of the objective. So he is now capping the central objective, whereas I am not, I believe. Now, being a sneaky Drukhari player, he's run off of the objective, so I roll an advance roll to run my rack onto it. He's advancing. I didn't get enough to advance onto it, so I used the Drukhari's Power from Pain ability that allows you to reroll advances, but I didn't roll enough. So instead of doing that, instead of being able to run down and cap the enemy objective, I moved him back onto the central so that I am now contesting at the very least. And I then decided to double down on that, make sure I've got 2, so I'm now capping instead of just contesting. Okay, so at the end of turn 3, I've actually done pretty well. I'm still holding objective 5, I'm still holding the central, and actually, he's not within 2 of objective 4, so I'm still holding that because he didn't manage to kill me. His plan had been to kill the rack and then consolidate onto the objective. Didn't manage it, thanks to a lovely reroll in Von save. I rolled an advanced roll with the Akathist guy. He's not an Akathist, that's the leader. With the Ossifier guy, but he's shaken. So I didn't do anything with him because he's shaken, obviously. Finally, my boy rolls a 6 on the advance, and I managed to make it to the other objective. And then I lose my leader to those Guardian Spears, and they're 2 damage shooting. Very strong. And we're doing our fight back here, which I'm going to play live for you. Am I finally, before turn 4, going to put a flesh wound or a wound on one of these models? Is it going to happen? No. No. I still have not wounded any model in 2 games. But you know what? We still have turn 4. Anything could happen. And at this point, turn 4, end of turn 3, I break because he has decimated my team. I only have one, two, three, 4 models left on the board. One of them is shaken. Again, breaking does not actually lose you the game, but it will obviously give everybody -1 hit, and you have to take a break test on all of your guys. So I managed to get all of my guys shaken, so we decided to speed play this final round because effectively, with all of my guys shaken, I can't do anything. So we mathematically worked out can he win just from the VP if he gets everything. So this will put him on 14 points. I am on 15. So basically, we get to the point at the end of turn 4 where the game ends. If we had gone one more turn, he would have won, no questions asked. He did break me. He took me down to 2 models. I didn't put a single wound on him throughout the entire game. That's 2 games where I haven't put a single wound on the Custodes, but I've beaten him twice. Now, that's kind of weird, I'm going to say. However, to be fair, he, he got a lot closer to beating me. What he did this time was play the objectives, kind of in exactly the same way you would play any other team. You've got to play those objectives. And that's how he came very close to beating me. I think the big concern, as I said this is in, I've said this all this week so far, is the fact that he decimated my team. I still won. Eh. I think what might be quite fun to do though is actually play them in a proper uh, annihilation style mission. So we're actually using secondaries as well, and see how that shifts things for us, as that might tip the balance in his favour. That I generally view that as being what secondaries do. They seem to help elite factions. That's the word. More than they help the big guys, the hordes, purely because obviously hordes naturally have the upper hand when it comes to objectives, just because mathematically number of bodies on the board, number of bodies by an objective, you're capping that objective. So secondaries are supposed to help that. Anyway, this has been hopefully a nice quick battle report from Glass Half Dead. I hope you've enjoyed. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Hopefully the audio issues weren't as terrible as my last video. Apologies for that again. Have a great day, everyone. See you very soon.